Good day, young learners. How have you been this week? I hope everyone is doing fine, staying healthy, being active even though you are at home. This is the second last video of the PSLE oral series with Miss H. If you haven't watched my previous videos, there are 3 of them: reading aloud, types of SBC questions, and how to answer surface questions. Before we proceed, go ahead and watch them if you haven't done so already. Here is a summary of what we learned last week. Remember SASH? S stands for state, E stands for elaborate, and SH stands for share. And these 3 steps make up one answer to any level of PSLE oral questions that you can have. We are going to answer the next level of SBC questions this time, which is personal experience questions. I am going to refer to them as P questions from now on. So let's revisit the picture that we have been using for this lesson. The P question that we uncovered in the last lesson was, have you ever had a fever before? So we go back to SASH. S stands for state, meaning we answer the question directly. So in this case, how we would answer it is, yes, I have had a fever before. That's all. Avoid saying just yes or just no. It's not exactly wrong, but it's easier to repeat the question. It's easier for your thoughts to flow if you repeat the questions then. So remember, even if it's the state part of the answer, please make your sentence complete. Yes, I have had a fever before. Next is E for elaborate. Previously you said, yes, I have had a fever before. So how you elaborate this is you think of the basic questions of when, how, and what. When did you have the fever? How did you feel? And what happened in the end? So how I address this question can be like this. Just last month, I felt my temperature rise. Immediately, I felt worried because fevers would mean my body is trying to fight off a virus. I told my mother about it and we went to the doctor. I recovered in a few days. That's your elaborate. It sounds like your answer is complete, right? It actually does sound complete. The SH, the shush part of SASH, share, is sometimes optional when you are answering P questions. But if you want to add a little zazz to your answer, there's no harm. So for P questions, since you've already addressed personal experience, then your share would be of an opinion. So you could say something like, I think taking care of my personal health is very important, which is why I try to stay as active as possible and eat as healthily as I can. Done. And there's your P question answered in full. So in full, it would sound like this. Yes, I have had a fever before. Just last month, I felt my body temperature rise. I was worried immediately because fevers would mean my body is trying to fight off a virus. So I told my mom about it and we went to the doctor. I recovered in just a few days. I think taking care of my personal health is very important, which is why I try to stay as active as possible and eat as healthily as I can. You may notice that I did not use the exact same words as I used before, and this is normal because you're having a conversation. It's not something you just memorize, it's something that you recall and you talk about. So what I advise against is you preparing a script in your head. I don't want you to have a prepared sentence where you type down all these type of questions and then you memorize. No. It needs to be natural. Yes, it is very helpful if you can source for different topics like health, bullying, things that are current or current issues that are relatable to students of your age. And you can prepare by typing down all these sentences it's good to be able to read through everything and make sure you know how to respond to different types of questions. However, please stay away from memorization. Just practice. If you practice, all of this can come naturally, because that's how I got to where I am. That's how my students got to where they are. What they do is they practice with me, and then they diligently practice on their own, and that's how they got as good as they are. So that's all I have for today. Tune in next week for my last video of this PSLE oral series, and continue tuning in for the next season of PSLE English with Ms. H. I'm going to cover a topic which a lot of you struggle with, which is vocabulary MCQ. So see you soon.